Hello and welcome to Interbay Stadium in Seattle, Washington for the first round of the West Regional here at the home of Seattle Pacific University, the home of the Falcons. I'm Mark Ockett bringing you the action on SPUFalcons.com and the network going to Hawaii as well as California and throughout the world on the World Wide Web through the webcast. We appreciate you tuning in as we have the matchup going on here this afternoon to get things started between the number 5 seed Hawaii Hilo Vulcans against the number 4 seed Sonoma State Seawolves. And we'll tell you how they got here to this point as we go along here this afternoon. And a overcast day in Seattle, a little breeze out here, but not bad. Good playing conditions overall. No rain. We've had a lot of rain here in November, and these teams getting a chance to settle in and get a feel for the field a little bit earlier as they got warming up out there. And let me get you the starters for today's matchup between Hawaii Hilo or Hilo Vulcans and Sonoma State Seawolves. First of all, goalkeeper for Hawaii Hilo is Viviana Poli. Also, midfielder is Piper Colado. They have forwards Filipa Graneld as well as Dalen Tokunaga, and she is a good one. Also, midfielder Alyssa Pardon is starting for them. Forward, Christina Kanalu. Defenders, Christy Jensen and Jody Lilly, as well as midfielder Bailey Brennan and defender Camille Strazo with forward Macy Paulson. That completes the lineup for Hawaii Hilo. Now for Sonoma State, they have goalkeeper Phoebe Barnes, also defender Alyssa Silva, midfielders Ashley Fry, as well as Lexi Zandonella Araza and Julia Pritchard. Chrissy Keller is a defender, Malia Falk forward, also midfielders Victoria Chavez and Renee Kettner, and defender Amanda Ramirez with midfielder Julia Betty. That's the lineups for the two teams as they make their way out on the field. Hawaii Hilo is in the red and Sonoma State is in the white as they get ready to go out here for the first kick. And we'll see exactly how things get rolling in the early going. 45 minutes on the clock for each half. Now, if it does go to overtime, there are two 10-minute overtime periods with the sudden goal that could decide it, as right away Hilo getting control going into the attacking end right now. Then Sonoma State getting the ball back, and we'll see early on as these two teams just get a feel for the conditions and for playing against each other, how the pace gets going for them early on. But we've got a couple of good goalkeepers between the posts out there, and that is something that they'll definitely rely on for the defense too. And both teams play solid defense. Seattle Pacific University, the team that will host on Saturday, has definitely had an outstanding season. So either one of these teams will face a very strong foe coming up on Saturday as they get going here. So we have just in the first minute of play here at Interbay Stadium in Seattle, Washington. And now the ball is down into the Hawaii Hilo end as they'll set up defensively. For the Hawaii Hilo team, looking at their goalkeeper Viviana Poli, she has played in 14 games and has a total of the save percentage of game percentage of .857. There's a shot fired off and just goes off of her hands and out to the other side there, and we got this is going to be a goal kick coming up here in the early going. Breeze picking up a little bit as it's going towards the east side right now, so they got to deal with that a little bit if they get that ball up in the air too much, as Hawaii Hilo will try to get out of their own end, and then there's Sonoma State right there to get a piece of it and keep it back in on the other end there. Again, a lot of back and forth, I'm sure, early on until they start establishing, as that was going to be a free kick. It looks like the other direction going for Hawaii Hilo. The head coach for Hawaii Hilo is Gino Kimura. He's in his 6th season. And assistant coaches Landon Salvador and Jordan Zand. Vulcans with a blast ahead. But Sonoma State so far doing a good job of keeping it deep out of their own end. We're only just into the 3rd minute of play here at Interbay Stadium. they have the lights on to create a little bit more of a contrast out there with the fact that it is a gray day here in Seattle. We get one of those gunmetal gray days in Seattle. We get a few of those as we get deeper into this time of the year, especially in January. All right, Sonoma State on the far side, get a little bit of a movement there, and they just can't quite capitalize, but now they're going to have a throw-in. Toss over on the other far side, and Sonoma State will kick it out of bounds. Now it's going to be, looks like a corner kick coming up, so that would be the first corner kick for Sonoma State. Sonoma State won the California Collegiate Athletic Association regular season championship, but lost to Cal State East Bay 2-1 in the tournament final. So the first corner kick for either team over on the far side there. Just a soft little one this time around. And off the side of the net, that's going to bring up another goal kick for Viviana Poli. Hawaii Hilo started out the season 0-2, hosting Westminster. Utah lost that one 1-0, and then they lost to Humboldt State 2-1. Then got on a roll, won 3 straight against San Francisco State, then a big win against Hawaii Pacific 4-0, followed by a 3-0 win against Chaminade. So they got on a roll going to 3-2. Then they lost a match against Azusa Pacific to drop to 3-3, but they have been on a winning streak since that time. Look at this, going the other direction. Hawaii Hilo putting some pressure on for the first time in the match, and Sonoma State able to dodge that one and get the ball out and cleared through the area there, as they will now get control of it once again. So Hawaii Hilo finding a little bit of an opportunity right there to scoot through there and try to make something happen. And as it turns out, just a good rush, and it'll be and the other thing too is to establishing different field position out there, as to trying different combinations just to see what might work to get through past the defense. And now it goes the other direction. In minute number 5 here, they'll go over and have the throw-in. Sonoma State with 36 goals scored this season. They have given up a total of 10. Malia Falk and also Lexi Zandonella Araza are the leading goal scorers for Sonoma State. And another corner. This is the second corner kick for the Seawolves already here in the first half. Sometimes you go pretty far into a match and you won't have any of those, but they got a couple starting things off really quickly here. Again, same type of thing, just a soft little tap over to a couple of players, and now that's going to go out. Very much the same result as before, as Sonoma State with 2 of those corners. Viviana Poli will just kind of put it out softly out to the left side there. And Sonoma State right up on the Hawaii Hilo players. Back in, you got to keep an eye on things. Got a player coming from behind. That's going to be a throw-in for the Seawolves. Yeah, so Hawaii Hilo, after starting out 3-3, then really got on this great roll with the win against Holy Names. They actually got going really well on the road. At Holy Names, they won 4-0. Then at Fresno Pacific, 3-2. At Academy of Art, 1-0. And at Dominican, California, they won that one 3-0. So they got up to a 7-3 record at that point. And those were on the road. Then they come home and they win 4 in a row. And stacked up a good amount of goals, too. They had, of those 4 matches, they had 9 goals, gave up just 1 goal, had 3 shutouts in there. So this is where Hawaii Hilo got going, and then they had a forfeit in their last match going in their advantage. So officially 9 wins in a row. And that's the kind of momentum that can get you to this point. This is their first trip into the NCAA tournament, so that is very uplifting as well. I see some umbrellas out here now. It looks like it's starting to sprinkle out here at Interbay Stadium. We're not too far from the city core of Seattle, just a couple of miles away. There's a Queen Anne Hill right next to us on the east side. And then you just go around the corner, you can see where the Space Needle is and all the tall skyscrapers in Seattle. So I want to say aloha and mahalo to our viewers over in the 50th state of Hawaii. Some good marking out there near midfield in minute number 8. Hawaii Hilo putting on some good pressure on right there as Sonoma State has to recalibrate and figure out a way to get that ball out of there. And the big thing is that once you find the right combination like Hawaii Hilo has done over these last 9 games, that certainly built a lot of confidence in getting into the tournament like this. Sonoma State has been a regular in the NCAA tournament. Let's see what Hawaii Hilo can, see if they can produce something right here. You look at those. It's nice to have those bright red jerseys to identify. And the numbers are good size too, which always helps the announcer. There's, oh, nice defense. That one's going to go out of bounds. And a throw in for Hawaii Hilo. Now we'll have the unlimited substitutions as we go along too, and we'll just see exactly how that plays out as far as, again, watching the stamina of these players. Hawaii Hilo having to make the long trip over from the Big Island. On the throw-in, and the Seawolves trying to work it out of there, find a way to get some momentum of their own on the offensive end. A couple players with the gloves on out there, keeping their hands warm on the field. There you go, getting a little jump that time. Sonoma State going the other direction. That's Alyssa Silva. Silva is going to be having a couple of Vulcans slow her down. Now Sonoma State getting the ball back once again, and it's going to go out of bounds. So we've just seen a lot of back and forth so far here in the early going. For Sonoma State, they are in the tournament for the 6th straight season. So this is a program that's no stranger to being at this level. It's the 17th time overall that the Seawolves have been in the tournament. They've also had a good run of shutouts with 12 shutouts throughout the season with those 36 goals and just 10 allowed. Out of bounds, Hawaii Hilo had the last touch on it there as Sonoma State will toss it in. Just looking at how Hawaii Hilo does in the scoring aspect. In the first half, they have scored 10 goals. In the second half, they have scored 18 and 1 in overtime. So more strength in the second half is what they've shown so far, which could be an indicator here as to what could happen this afternoon. Also, they have been amazing when it comes to allowing goals, just allowing 7 goals this season. Most goals they have allowed has been 2 a couple of times at Humboldt State. That was in their second match of the season when they're just getting started, and that was a loss. And then at Fresno Pacific they allowed 2 goals. Just kind of waiting to see when one of the big goal scorers here gets rolling. Dalen Tokunaga has 13 goals. Just having a fantastic season for Hawaii Hilo. She is wearing number 7. But so far, nothing has occurred on the scoreboard. No score. 3 shots have been fired by Sonoma State. Again, they are listed as the home team here. They are the higher seed. They come in as the 4th seed, and Sonoma State the 5th seed. Seattle Pacific, the number 1 seed in the region, and Western Washington is the number 2 seed, both those teams from the GNAC, which is the Great Northwest Athletic Conference. All right, throw in across the way. Chipped around, and just a lot of back and forth here in the early going. Now in minute number 14 coming up. But there's just always so much game within the game going on as each player trying to establish certain position, get a little bit of an edge out there. And now Sonoma State, that was a nice lead pass ahead, down the other direction. Lexi Zandinella Arasa again, 5 goals. Keep an eye on number 7 out there for Sonoma State. Alyssa Silva also out there. A lot of these players, you look at the roster for Sonoma State, many of them from the state of California. And they were able to recruit locally for Hawaii Hilo. Several from the great state of Hawaii. They've actually got a player from Stockholm, Sweden on the Hilo team. Oh, nice pass ahead. Can she make it happen? Good flip around by the defense that time, and that one's way over the top. That was a good defensive play, though. Getting in position was Camille Strazo, and she really forced an alteration of that play, and she just quickly stepped in front of her opponent there and was able to force that one around, and then the high kick over the goal, the crossbar. And so now another goal kick coming up for Hawaii Hilo. 4 shots, and that's the total for the Seawolves. No shots have been fired by Hawaii Hilo as of yet. Definitely see more offensive action down as you're watching over on your right side. Fancy footwork there, and it goes the other direction. And right straight to the goal. That one airmailed in there. But at least they continue to put the pursuit on as they have the 5 shots now. Seawolves chasing it down near midfield. And here comes Hilo as well, going after it. Again, just they've got the 3 players back there defensively that is helping to hold that ball and keep it out of the goal area, and then clearing it out of there. Over on the other side, the near side now. That is Amanda Ramirez. Long blast, the header. It's in there. She gets the goal. So Ramirez over on the pass that time, and Sonoma State will be on the scoreboard to start things off. Here, 29:08 left to go in the first half. That goal was by Alyssa Silva. So Silva coming through and getting the goal. We saw her on the near side, and the passing went very well. So 15 minutes and 52 seconds into the first half, on the 6th shot, Sonoma State is able to put it in. It was a good connection on the passing that time. And they strike first. Now here comes Hawaii Hilo the other way. Good defensive play to break that one up. Sliding in there for Sonoma State was Amanda Ramirez. She is from Oceanside, Rancho Vista High School. Defender, 5'6" senior. Corner kick. This will be the first corner kick for Hawaii Hilo. 2 so far for the Seawolves. 28:34 to go in the first half, and the 1-0 lead for Sonoma State. And you have to look and see how their playoff experience, especially having been in here the last 6 seasons into the postseason, exactly how well that plays out for them. And now they'll set it up to go the other direction. For Sonoma State, their main goalkeeper, Phoebe Barnes, 6 shutouts this year, clean sheets, and a .65 goals against average. So she has definitely had a great season. Both goalkeepers have. That helps you get into the postseason, obviously. Yeah, Mark Ockett bringing you the action on SPUFalcons.com here at Interbay Stadium in Seattle, Washington. And a 1-0 lead for Sonoma State. First round of the West Regional for soccer here in NCAA Division II. And of course, Seattle is a very, very big soccer town, and the Northwest as a region, it's just amazing up here. The Seattle Sounders FC have been to the MLS Championship 4 times in recent years, won it twice. Portland Timbers have been and won it. You got the Vancouver Whitecaps just up the road. So all 3, they call it the Cascadia Cup, and the section of this area here and with the Cascade Mountains, and just fantastic soccer competition. The Sounders usually lead the Major League Soccer in attendance and just have an incredibly loyal following, averaging about 40,000 fans per game. So it is big up here in the Northwest. And it reflects, too, on how well the local soccer programs have done. Seattle Pacific having an up year, very much so, in both men's and women's soccer. University of Washington, very strong again this year, and generally Seattle University also with a strong program. Hilo trying to get some control, get something to happen here. They do have the 1 shot now, but 6 shots fired by Sonoma State. 2 fouls have been committed by the Vulcans, and none by Sonoma State. And it'll once again be Poley coming out. She's had several goal kicks. That's 7 shots now that have been fired in her direction. Did a Seattle Pacific game out here a little over a month ago, and they had over 30 shots to 2 for the opponent. It was quite amazing. Managed to win it 3-1. Hilo putting a little more pressure on that time. Now near midfield. Vulcans controlling the ball. Seems like Sonoma State has really had answers for them pretty much every time downfield. So get this set for you. On the goal, it was Alyssa Silva picking up the goal. So for Silva, that was her 4th goal of the season. She also has 3 assists. There was also an assist on that, and that was Lexi Zandinella Araza. For her, that would be her 3rd assist of the season. Again, she has 5 goals so far this year. Coming up on 24 minutes to go here in the first half. And I'd say it's been mostly Sonoma State here in this first half. Leading in shots and also with the score on the board there. And out it goes. Again, back in goal, and they will head the other direction. Now, the thing is that, and I reflect on a number of games called where it could be all one team, obviously, and then another team just suddenly gets the right spark, especially near the end of it all, and the next thing you know, they find their groove and can take the and get the victory. But because there's so much inner workings going on right now, trying to just get every little bit of gaining. There you go once again. There's Silva over on the near side. And last touch by UH Hilo. Throw in as Sonoma State will set up. Good defense right there. Swung around and headed out of there. Almost taken. And now here we go. Here comes the Seawolves the other way again over on the far side. I don't think she's going to be able to catch up to that one. Nope. As Hawaii Hilo will have the throw in across the way. Hawaii Hilo with several players that have scored amongst those 29 goals they've scored this season. I mentioned Daylin Tokunaga with 13 and 4 assists, and she has a total of 30 points. So just keep an eye on her, number 7 out there. Both teams with the number 7 that scored a number of goals for them. Alyssa Silva playing very hard. She's from Livermore High School and a junior, 5'5", forward and defender. Still sitting at 7 shots for Sonoma State and 1 for Hawaii Hilo. Vulcans will get a crack at it over on the other end this time. And then there is Philippa Graneld. She has 5 goals and 5 assists for Hawaii Hilo. Alyssa Padron with 3 and 4. Nenea Wall has a total of 3 goals, 3 assists. Jordan Pacheco has 2 goals, no assists, and then there's 3 players with 1 goal each. So they got 8 players in the mix as far as goal scoring is concerned. Bit of a one-on-one battle down there, and it's going to be going to the Seawolves. And Hilo's actually hung in there pretty well. It's been a case where Sonoma State has been down in their end quite a bit, but it's not like they're running away with it at this point in time. It's going to be interesting to see when if we start seeing some substitutions in there to keep those legs fresh. UH Hilo coming out of their own end towards now. It's broken up once again, and that one's going to go all the way across the line, and it will be a goal kick for Viviana Poli. She is from Covina, California, went to South Hills High School, and then started her college career at Biola. Biola plays up here from time to time. They were up here for a volleyball tournament. Again, the winner of this match plays against number 1 seed Seattle Pacific University, ranked 4th in the nation. They have just had a tremendous season, going 12-1-1 in the GNAC conference and 17-1-1 overall. Western Washington, the number 2 seed, at 10-3-1, and overall they are 14-4-3. 8 teams play soccer in the Great Northwest Athletic Conference. Also Northwest Nazarene, Simon Fraser, Western Oregon, Montana State Billings, Central Washington, and St. Martin's. Just under 19 minutes left to go. Here's a throw in. Let's see if they can make something happen down here. Nice defense right there to break it up. Christy Jensen from Pleasanton, California. Jensen went to Foothills High School and started out at Sierra College. Pleasanton over on the East Bay side. Oh, got out of there. Now here's a straight on shot, and it's good. It's a goal. So they're up 2-0. That was just a great pass and a goal 2-0 is the score. Looks like Victoria Chavez. Victoria Chavez coming through with the goal. And that is the 18:21 to go mark here in the half as they're up 2-0. See if we got an official assist on that one. But you can see that one set up really nicely. Again, that's what you're working for. So they've had 8 shots and 2 of them have gone in. (26:39) into the first half. That playoff postseason experience, you can see, and of course when you get up by a couple of goals, you start playing with a little more confidence. Sonoma State just getting the job done here. Look out, you can't get too lax. Poli gets out there and clears it away. They have a couple other players that play goalkeeper for Hawaii Hilo, Taylor Hornberg and Sadie Baghdad. But it is Poli who handles most of the action with goals against average of .53. Overall record 11-3-0. So she's had all the decisions coming in. Over the top, and that'll give her another chance for a goal kick. 16:55 to go in the first half. Now 9 shots fired. And substitutions, so 3 new players in for Sonoma State. One of those would be Molly Murphy. Murphy is out of Pleasanton, California as well. Also looks like Olivia Ashbrenner has joined the lineup. So Sonoma State makes the first substitutions, already up by a score of 2-0, and they bring in 3 new players. Andrea Lozano is also in. She's a freshman from San Marcos, California, Mission Hills High School. Now, one of the things, too, is you take and rotate those players. You keep them in good shape for what you might need in the second half, too. It'll be interesting to see if we start seeing some Hilo substitutions, too. The Hilo just having a hard time getting it out of their own end right now. As you see the pressure put on by the Seawolves, they just keep coming at them. They've definitely got the momentum in this one. And just very aggressive out there. Yeah, Hawaii Hilo looks a little tired right now. I'm just looking down the way to see if there's any players getting in position to come in as subbing for the Vulcans. I don't see any down there. Throw in. Check, see if we have a corner kick coming up. I think that's going to be the case. That would be the 3rd corner kick for the Seawolves. Yep, over on the far side. And they'll set up with those 2 players. They haven't had one, and it's been with the corner kicks, Lexi Zandelela Araza. Now she's going to try something a little bit different. Puts it out to one of her teammates coming up, and finally out it goes. A 2-0 lead for Sonoma State. Hawaii Hilo coming in with a great momentum, winning 12 of its final 13 outings. They had a nice, great win on October 27th against Point Loma. A 1-0 win, and Point Loma 19th ranked coming into that. Let's see if Hilo can string something together here. UH Hilo with the ball, and it's batted out of there. Now just mismatch at that point in time. Just taking control of it is Molly Murphy, who just came in a few minutes ago. Up ahead. Well, that was a good stop right there. Got to do something to try to prevent her from going around the corner. Getting it done that time was Jody Lilly from Mililani, Hawaii. Throwing across the way, that is Ashley Fry. Now it goes once again. Seawolves keeping it down in the attacking end. Here we go. Now Hilo gets Hilo gets a foot onto it. Up ahead again. Again, they just keep the ball down in this end. Amanda Ramirez doing a good job batting that one back. And a substitution. Now in for the Seawolves is Casey Holiday from Palm Desert. And a substitution for Hawaii Hilo. Into the match will be Jordan Parrish from Hawthorne, California. And coming out of goal to make the grab that time is Poley. 11 shots fired by Sonoma State, just one by Hawaii Hilo. That's a big story right there, and Sonoma State with 2 goals to show for it. Alyssa Silva getting it done in the 16th minute. And then also Victoria Chavez just a few minutes ago, getting it done in the 27th minute. And again, back in the other end. Up to 12 shots now. Let's take a look at some numbers. Shots on goal, 4 for Sonoma State, none for Hawaii Hilo. Seawolves leave 3-1 in corner kicks. Vulcans have 3 fouls, none for the Seawolves. And just looking at the numbers, it's been pretty one-sided. And then just with what I've been calling and what you've been observing, it's been down there on the Sonoma State offensive end, attacking against Hawaii Hilo throughout this half. It started out like just, again, as teams get going in a match who've not played against each other, just kind of getting a feel for their opponent. And then after that, it's just been Sonoma State continuously putting pressure, especially if we've gotten deeper into this half. And they just seem like their legs are alive with energy, and they're just making a lot of great moves out there. Over on the far side, that's going to go back to Hawaii Hilo. Coming up on 10 minutes to go. First half action here in Seattle, Washington at Inter Bay Stadium. The stadium here is less than a couple of miles. It's probably about a mile and a half from the Seattle Pacific campus. It was built about 15 years ago. Just fantastic setup here. It's right in a neighborhood, and there's a big golf range. You might pick that up, a driving range right to the south of us. It's known in the Inter Bay area. That's why it's called Inter Bay Stadium, Inter Bay Soccer Stadium. You've got Puget Sound, Elliott Bay to the south, and Salmon Bay, which Seattle Pacific resides on, over to the north end. Watch that number 7 down there, Lexi Zandinella Araza. Easy to spot her sometimes because she's one of now, looks like 3 players out on the field that have the black gloves on. But she has not scored a goal, but she does have an assist in this one. Well, it looks like they've recredited the assist to Victoria. Let's want to check here. Chavez got, Victoria Chavez has 1 assist, and also another assist going to Renee Kettner. Get that all set at halftime. 8:19 to go here, and Hawaii Hilo with the ball. Trying to get something going. Again, that's they keep running into the wall of white jerseys out there. Seawolves will have the throw-in across the way and the 2-0 lead. So on the first goal, they've got the goal by, Alyssa Silva, 15:52. An assist by Renee Kettner. And then the second goal, Victoria Chavez. So they give the first goal, they had 2 assists on that. Seawolves coming into the front end now. Hilo just trying to collectively get out of here after the first half of giving up a couple of goals and a lot of shots fired their direction. They've been on defense quite a bit. The head coach for Sonoma State is Amiria Salzman. She's in her 11th season. Crystal Luna is the assistant, one of the assistant coaches, and goalkeeper coach is Matt Ryla. A tough first half for Hawaii Hilo as they still try to do something to put it together here, and it seems like the Seawolves have had an answer for them throughout the entire first half of play. Could be a tough second half. We'll see how Hawaii Hilo can reload and get going. Again, they've been on such a good run and putting a lot of goals on the board with in that stretch of this 9-game winning streak. Of course, one was a forfeit, but they've also had a total of 4 matches where they have had 3 goals or more. And as I mentioned earlier, they are more of a second half goal scoring team. In minute number 40, across the way now, make that minute number 39. Here comes Sonoma State. Defense shuts them out, and that one's going to go flying out into the parking lot across the way. She gets some good height on that one. There's a net that extends down the way over on that west side that can prevent balls from sailing out there. But there's recreational fields right adjacent to us here for both for all of softball, soccer, and football. They get a lot of action. There's a lot of people living around this area. Less than 5 minutes to go in the first half. 13 shots now, not all on goal, but 13 shots fired by Sonoma State and just 1 for Hawaii Hilo. Big stat right there. Not much of a breeze blowing now. It was moving the flag around a little bit in that earlier part of the match, but now it's kind of died down out there. Generally pretty good weather conditions. Don't see any umbrellas out down there now. Maybe there's one, maybe just a bit of a mist out there. Certainly not going to cause a problem for these tough soccer players. Hilo, again, trying to move it forward, but Sonoma State always seems to be there when they start moving in that direction. Lexi Zendanella Araza, and it's booted back towards her goalkeeper, or towards the Hilo keeper, and then she'll end up with the ball and do another goal kick. 3:45 to go in the first half, and a 2-0 lead. If you're just tuning in, Sonoma State getting a couple of goals as they spaced them out, and they've been holding on to it since that time. Look at that defense right there. They're just Amanda Ramirez, who's had a very good first half. Both teams looking to make substitutions here. And that's a perfect example of what's been going on a lot here. Might get it past one player, but then there's a Seawolf right there waiting. And we'll have the substitutions right now. In for Sonoma State would be Sharia Rigatuso. She's from Belmont. That's just south of San Francisco. And a couple players in for Hawaii Hilo. And the Vulcans, looks like we had an offside, so that's going to go back the other direction. If you're the coach for UH Hilo, you got to be just thinking, okay, what can we do to shut them off the scoreboard in the second half and find a way to get the right combination to get past them, to get something where we can get a shot. Because it has been a tough battle so far for the Vulcans to try to get anything put together offensively. And definitely as we've gotten deeper into this half, Sonoma State is just, seems like they're just always there. Every time the Vulcans turn, there's a white jersey right there by them. Up ahead, and that one goes out. Chasing it down that time was Dalen Tokunaga. Unfortunately, that didn't work out for the Vulcans. And a substitution, Sonoma State making another change. Drew Swanson is in to the match now. Again, they've made several moves here in this first half, which will pay off in the long run, too, because if they go ahead and decide to bring in the original starting lineup for the start of the second half, they will have had a chance to get rested up and be ready to go. Less than a minute to go in the first half. 2-0 is our score. A throw in across the way. Hilo's got to be careful that they don't give up something late here to get even further behind. You got to stay tough here down the stretch. They're just great marking out there by the Seawolves over and over again. And hard to get much of a space, and just like that right there, coming through defensively was Christine Keller. Oh, there's another goal. Like I said, you got to be careful down the stretch. And that was Molly Murphy popping it in. Now Molly Murphy has given, let's check and see. The officials are talking it over, though. I'm looking down to the far side. See if there was, and the goalkeeper, that's unfortunate. Viviana Poli is down. Checking and seeing if that counts or not. There's a card out. I think that might be the problem, is that they're saying the goalkeeper was knocked down by the player trying to score the goal, or a player in that region, and there is a yellow card out by the official. So that goal may not, it's not been put up, so they're looking over Poli down there to make sure she's okay, as there was a collision down there. I hope she's all right. And both teams just kind of milling about as the medical trainer out there looking over the goalkeeper for Hawaii Hilo. She's on her back, and looks like her knee is being attended to, her right knee. That's unfortunate. was right in on that attacking end down there. Yeah, they'll just, and 11 seconds left here in the first half, and this could take a little bit as Poli is being looked at. Now, she's had a very strong season, but not really moving around too much down there. I was focusing it on the ball, but you can see there was a lot of action taking place, and now she's moving her feet around a little bit, but definitely not feeling very comfortable at this point. Right near halftime, and then unfortunately something like this occurs. As the trainer looking things over, and let's see if they can get her to her feet. Trying to get her up. Sometimes it's just that stunning. She's going to be helped off the field. Again, I did see that the trainer was checking her knee out, her right knee it looked like, or that lower part of her leg. But that's just speculation. You hope that it's something that her teammate helping her off the field as well. So they will bring in a new goalkeeper. Bailey Brenning assisting down there. A very slow process to get that very good goalkeeper, Viviana Poli from Covina, California, off of the field there, and they'll bring in a reserve goalkeeper to finish out the half and most likely the rest of the game. Taylor Hornberg is into the match now as the new goalkeeper from Exeter, California. And she will finish out the 11 seconds here. And I'll tell you, Poli, that's just really unfortunate. They're very slowly, they had to stop. They're actually stopped right now across the field to get her off and over to the sideline. And I'm wondering if maybe they just stop right there. Now they're picking her up. And she'll be in the locker room very shortly. 5 seconds left. 3 seconds here in the first half. And that is it. We are at halftime. And the score is Sonoma State, the Seawolves 2, and Hawaii Hilo Vulcans nothing. As Sonoma State really running the table here in this first half. 13 shots, only 1 for Hawaii Hilo. And we'll take a break now and then come back with the second half action as we get started close to the start of the second half. I'll get some stats and numbers for you and look to see what we can have happen out here in the second half. It's been all Sonoma State, the number 4 seed leading the number 5 seed, and the winner will play against Seattle Pacific at 2 o'clock on Saturday here at Interbay Stadium. So we'll be back in about 14 minutes here on SBUFalcons.com.
mobile device, tablet, or laptop free of charge. NCAA Class B program for a look inside the state championship.
Welcome back to Interbay Stadium here in Seattle, Washington, as we get set for the start of the second half in the first round of the West Regional between the Hawaii Hilo Vulcans and the Sonoma State Seawolves. Mark Hockett bringing you the action on spufalcons.com and through YouTube. And again, hello to our viewers over in Hawaii and in California and throughout the area as the two teams getting after it in that first half and really going in the favor of Sonoma State as they lead 2-0. 13 shots for them, just one shot for Hawaii Hilo as they have the first kick. And we'll see if they do a little different, a little better in the second half, going from now your left to right. That would be east to west here at Interbay Stadium. And in the first half, really in the first few minutes, just a little bit back and forth towards the middle of the field, and then Sonoma State started taking control of things and ended up getting the first goal in the 16th minute, which was Alyssa Silva, as she had that assisted by Renee Kettner and Victoria Chavez. And then in the 27th minute, Victoria Chavez was able to get the goal, and that was unassisted. So that's where we're sitting right now. But really, Sonoma State seemed to be around about every turn when the Vulcans were trying to make something happen down there, and we'll see if they can rectify the problem. Also, we had the goalkeeper for University of Hawaii Hilo, Viviana Poli, was taken out right there with 11 seconds left as another player, Molly Murphy, had a yellow card on her with the ball down there. They actually went in the net, but they put a yellow card on Murphy, and that so she's got to be careful if she's out there in the second half. She came in actually as a substitution late in that first half. So Sonoma State picking right up here, trying to attack right out the gate, and they had a total of 3 corner kicks in that first half. They had a couple really early, and it looks like they've got another one coming up right here, and usually taking those corner kicks for them is Lexi Zandanella Arasa. And they've been real short corner kicks too, as she has a couple players right there near her by her, and she's going to do that again here in this instance, as UH Hilo needs to be careful not falling down by 3 goals. That one's the furthest corner kick that they've had so far, and it goes all the way across to the other side. It's just been really strong defense for Sonoma State, and they made several substitutions in that first half. Both teams actually did as it went along. 6 substitutions for the Seawolves and 5 for Hawaii Hilo, but the Seawolves did it first, and so I'm looking out there, looks like they've got a number of starters out there as they've been able to get freshened up and be ready to go here for the second half. And there's in that time frame in halftime, if you're UH Hilo, it's just talking things over, trying to figure out what kind of combination might work. But again, the defense, with the being right up in the face of UH Hilo, has been a big factor here in this match so far. Now 3 minutes into the second half, and Sonoma State will have the throw in, and they've just been very aggressive out there trying to make something happen, and obviously getting those shots. Now looking at shots on goal, they've had 4 shots on goal, none for UH Hilo, and just that one shot overall very early on. Good stop right there. That was Bailey Brennan breaking it up, and it's just a little victories out here that if you're the Vulcans, you can try to start maybe turning something around to go in their favor, but Sonoma State just keeps putting so much pressure on them. Three fouls committed by UH Hilo in this in the first half, none by Sonoma State. Just looking at some other statistics here, it's pretty much been one-sided in that regard as well. So now it looks like another corner kick coming up. The last one was far across the field, and this will be the 5th corner kick against just 1 for the Vulcans. A lot of red shirts in front of the goal. Let's see. Nice attempt there, just wide on the shot that time. But at the same time, still forcing the goalkeeper to stay on top of the action out there. That's Julia Pritchard. And the substitute goalkeeper in Taylor Hornberg, who came in with 11 seconds left in that first half. Now with her first goal kick here, there's been 15 shots. They pick right up where they left off. There you go, Hilo coming up the near side. Now several of their players out there you see with the black gloves on. Over on the far side, that's Dalen Tokunaga. Has the 13 goals. She'd like to make it 14 here, but broken up. And a good defense coming through Lexi Zandinella Araza. And back in the Vulcan end. Starting to pick up a little bit as far as the rain here at Inter Bay Stadium. A very cloudy mid-November day. Down on the other end, that one's going to go across the end line, and it will be once again the Vulcans trying to go the other direction. But they've been trying to string some things together here, but it's just been hard to get a good passing flow going. Just as you see right there, Sonoma State just continues to break up on any kind of rally that the Vulcans may have. You start looking and saying, well, what can they do to mix things up a little bit? But every time the Sonoma State player seems to be right in the vicinity to break things up. And once again, going that other direction, Lexi Zandinella Arasa. She is has the 5 goals for the Seawolves. Victoria Chavez figuring in on both of the goals for Sonoma State with the assist and also a goal scored herself. Now in the 7th minute of the second half. Just a lot of back and forth action at this point in time. And the Seawolves with a throw in down right below us. Good positioning that time. Alyssa Padron. Here come the Vulcans down the right side, but they've just been missing with the passes there. Need to connect about 2 or 3 passes in a row just to get some momentum going down in the attacking end. Bailey Brennan now broken up. Seawolves back near midfield. Take control of it, coming in the other direction. Nice job breaking it up that time. Now here come the Vulcans again. Good stop at midfield. Ashley Fry for the Seawolves. And plenty of red jerseys down here, but they just can't seem to get through that white wall of defense, and now that one's going to go the other direction. A gentle breeze out here as it was kicking up a little bit in that first half, and now about the same as it was towards the end of the first half. Going the other direction, Sonoma State chasing down the ball. Good block that time, but it's going to be another corner kick. Heading over is Zandinella Arasa again, so they keep adding those corner kicks up. This will be their 6th and already their 3rd here in the second half. Vulcan's getting good practice setting up for these corner kicks. They've also kind of figured out they go with that short one again right over to the side, and that one's going to go over the top and out of bounds. So it will be UH Hilo going the other direction. Just got to keep trying, see if you can make something happen one of these times downfield. You cut that deficit down to 1 goal, and it really starts getting interesting, and that's the thing. Even though Sonoma State has had such a chunk of the momentum in this match, all of a sudden the tables could turn and the Vulcans could start getting the right opportunities and the right chances to get one in there. Just got to get past these white uniforms. Not easy at this point in time. Who's going to win the foot race there? Well, this time coming through is Malia Falk. Falk is tied for the team lead with 5 goals. And it goes out of bounds. Just again recapping the statistics for Sonoma State. 36 goals coming into today's match and allowing just 10. And then for the Vulcans, they've scored 29 coming in and allowing just 7. And Seawolves just seem to be really posing a problem on the physically, just finding a way to capitalize and get in there and just disrupt in any way, shape, or form. We got a substitution now for Sonoma State. Now into the match. A player they don't have on the roster. Oh, no, there it is. That's Julia Horner-Bell. They switched. She usually wears number 5, but she's wearing number 35 this time. Good defense by the Vulcans right there. Breaks it up. But down the other direction, getting the header. Vulcans chasing it down to the far end there. Jody Lilly now up ahead. Got a player over on the right side. Tokunaga, up ahead. Can she make something happen here with a pass? Oh, just off the mark. Well, they're thinking in the right direction. That's the most pressure they put on in quite some time, so that's good to see. Maybe a bit of a turning point there as they try to find the right combination. Again, you got to get that lead, that steps ahead to try to get that opportunity to come through there. Now we're on the far side. Got a player up ahead. Dalen Tokunaga is up in the middle area there. Number 7 for each team has been having a very good season. Over on the far side. Now closer to us, towards the middle. And that one, a great job on the header that time. So close. So close. It's going to be a corner kick for the Vulcans. So they've been able to string a couple things together these last couple of times downfield to make it interesting. Sonoma State having to adjust, and now here comes the second corner kick of the match for UH Hilo. Sonoma State feeling a little bit of pressure here, but good to see UH Hilo finding a couple combinations to make it a little bit of a challenge down there. Obviously on the miss, she wasn't too pleased with that, but at least it's showing a little bit more of a threat than what we saw in that first half. Again, that's a great credit to the Seawolves defense, just being able to constantly step in there. But the Vulcans trying to actually looking like they're finding some combinations that are able to get that ball. Well, as I say that, then that one's broken up. Strong defense over on that side, and that one is going to be off the side of the net. And a goal kick coming up for UH Hilo. At least that mostly no. They're going to say a corner kick, I think. That it was last touched by the Vulcans. So heading over there is Zandanella Araza. Coming up on 30 minutes to go here in the second half. Vulcans now with 4 fouls, 2 for the Seawolves. 17 shots fired by Sonoma State and 2 for UH Hilo. Another substitution. Vulcans making a change. Coming in will be Celia Vigeland. All right, Vulcans with the ball. Up ahead, got to really chase that one down. Not going to be able to get to it, though. But it is encouraging to see them put some more pressure on here in the second half. Seawolves making many appearances in the postseason. 17th time overall, but for Hawaii Hilo, this is their first. And this would be quite a win if they could pick it up against the school that's been in here many times. Winner will play Seattle Pacific on Saturday at 2 o'clock. Seattle Pacific, 4th-ranked team in the nation, having a great season. And the GNAC champions. Out it goes. Another goal kick for Sonoma State. Now they're just going to go ahead and have it. Back the other direction. Vulcans just trying to get past those Sonoma State players once again. Looking around towards the front end there. Just headed away and out of there. They were aiming that time for Tokunaga, and they could not find her. Now back in on the defensive end. Sonoma State will have a free kick. Rain picking up pretty steady here now at Interbay Stadium. up ahead. A good job by the Vulcans to get it out of there. Basically trying to do whatever they can to keep that score at just 2 goals for Sonoma State and string something together offensively, as they've had a couple of good rushes in there in this half so far. Across the way, picking up on defense that time is Brende Yoshizumi. And that's going to be another corner kick over on the far side. Lexi Zandinella Araza again, who's been handling it throughout. In the first half, they were over on the other side. Oh, looks like a goal right there for Sonoma State. They put a lot of pressure on up front, set up by that corner kick. And we'll get the official indication. I think I see who got that in there. I want to double check, though, but that looks like it was Alyssa Silva. If that's the case, that would be her second goal of the match. Wearing number 2, and that would be her 5th of the season. That was Alyssa Silva, and so she does pick up her second goal of the match, and it is now 3-0, and 19 shots fired by Sonoma State. Hawaii Hilo coming through there, and it's broken up again. And now a further hill to climb as they are down by the 3 goals, and that time Sonoma State just put good pressure on up front and finally was able to deliver and make it happen. "19 shots fired," and yeah, it is raining pretty hard here now. A little bit different. It's more like a tropical storm coming through. It's not. I was trying to think. It's a little bit chilly out there, but not super bad. We've been having some balmy weather here. Had a lot of rain over the last weekend, and then it got chilly for a couple of days. Now the goal kick coming up. Out near midfield. And it's going to be Sonoma State controlling again. Back and forth it goes. Tapped ahead. That's Julia Horner-Bell. Up in front again, and that one's over the top. That's going to take them to 20 shots to just the 2 for Hawaii Hilo. 8 corner kicks for Sonoma State. 2 for the Vulcans. 5 fouls committed by the Vulcans, 3 by the Seawolves. Less than 25 minutes to go in this contest with a chance to play against number 1 seed Seattle Pacific here at Interbay Stadium on Saturday at 2 o'clock. And that one is going to go out of bounds. Last touched by, looks like, UH Hilo. And now the throw in across the way. With Sonoma State, they just find ways to get in there and try to make things happen. Here we go again. That one almost getting away from the Vulcans, now up ahead, and they're just trying to clear it out of there and prevent that deep threat by the Seawolves. And that goes over the end line. I think we're going to have a corner kick coming up over on the near side. Heading over there will be Lexi Zandinella Araza. This will be their 9th corner kick. Just the 1 yellow card earlier, that was Molly Murphy. And it's good to see the goalkeeper that came out, Viviana Poli, coming out, walking across the field to head to the locker room at halftime. Oh, that one just off the side. They almost had their 4th goal there. Substitutions. 2 for Sonoma State, 1 for Hilo, Hawaii Hilo. Coming in will be number 13, Christy Jensen for Hilo. And you have to think, too, at this point, keeping players fresh for Saturday, and obviously it's looking like that could be going in the favor of Sonoma State with the 3-0 lead here, and halfway through, just about halfway through the second half. Vulcans again feeling the pressure down, and they'll have a throw in to try to get it out of there. Seawolves, good pressure defense that time by Julia Pritchard. Knocked away, now into the front end, and that one slides out of bounds, and it's going to stay with the Vulcans. Okay, a little bit better positioning this time around, at least with the throw-in, to see if they can get out, and then she throws it right at Sonoma State player. Or she was intending it that time for Tokunaga. And you can see just a difference in some physical size out there, too, that's playing a factor for Hawaii Hilo. Just the players for Sonoma State just look bigger. That one up ahead. Christine Keller, but has it taken away by Camille Strazo. Trains going by in the next to us there over on the west side of the stadium. There's a big train yard right near here, the Interbay train yard, and so there's a lot of transportation that comes through going to the various parts, actually loaded off ships in the area to go to various parts of the country. Very busy Port of Seattle here. Kind of feel the rumblings as it goes by. All right, here come the Vulcans, and that one's going to go across the end line. And Sonoma State will have another crack to go the other direction. In the 70th minute of play here at Interbay Stadium in Seattle, Mark Ockett bringing you the action on SBUFalcons.com. Again, thanks to everybody for viewing here in locally, and then, of course, over in Hawaii and California. It's been all Sonoma State as they led 2-0 at halftime and then added a goal here in the second half. 2 goals in the match for Alyssa Silva, her 4th and 5th of the season. That's the story right there. 20 shots fired by Sonoma State, and just two of them so far for Hilo. Look out. Not a lot of protection up there. Now they finally get more red jerseys down there, and that one is going to be in for another goal. Sonoma State coming through. That time with the blast was Drew Swanson. Swanson celebrating, feeling good about it. 4-0 now, 19:36 to go. So that is Swanson picking up. Let's check and see how many goals she has. Looks like that's her first goal of the season. Just checking here. Yeah, that would be her first goal of the season. And a happy camper once she got it in there. 4-0. Sonoma State in command of things. 2 goals in each half. And that is a big factor right there, as they've just now in minute number 71. Alyssa Silva with the 2 goals, and Drew Swanson coming through. Out of bounds it goes, and at this point, I think Hilo just trying to get through these 90 minutes as Sonoma State has been in command, with the exception of the first few minutes when both teams were just settling in and getting into their grooves, trying to. And that's when Hilo actually had a shot early on, but then it was Sonoma State been controlling ever since that time, and it has been their game. Just so many times where you think that the Vulcans are going to make something happen, and then there's a player for the Seawolves right there. It's been consistent throughout, even with the substitutions, and that's just been the way it's worked out this afternoon. And Seattle Pacific, with their team keeping an eye on things out here. Arby Busey, who's named the GNAC Coach of the Year, out there keeping an eye on things. Seen him in the stadium. He's in his 16th year as head coach here at Seattle Pacific and 7th as head coach. The Falcons getting back to the tournament for the first time since 2018. And they won the national title in 2008. The men's soccer team here at Seattle Pacific has had a great run through the years. They've won 5 NCAA Division II titles. Cliff McGrath, legendary coach here, who has retired a few years ago, but definitely a great coach and a wonderful human being and a character. Here we go. Up ahead, now that's just going to go right to the goalkeeper. Phoebe Barnes, a freshman, having a great year for Sonoma State. 6 shutouts and a .65 goals against average. 4-0. Sonoma State Seawolves on top against the Hilo Vulcans. They'll officially credit a shot on that one that sailed down to that end. Now up ahead. Look out, don't get too lax on that there. Sonoma State is not letting up. They're not going to be satisfied with 4 goals. They're looking for they're just playing hard throughout this entire match. They're not letting up at all. Player going down and gets right back up. Pretty resilient. There's a long shot fired that time by Lexi Zandinella Araza. She is from Concord, California. Up ahead. And it's just been a frustrating afternoon out here for Hilo. Another substitution. Now they're starting to clear the bench a little bit out there. In for Sonoma State, Casey Holliday, sophomore from Palm Desert, and also Haley Freeman, a freshman from Morgan Hill, into the match. Give them a good opportunity to get out there, and that's another thing. Give these younger players a chance to get some playing time out there. Exactly what you want to do. Have them ready to go, as you may need them a little bit more as they go deeper into the postseason, and then also start developing what they can do at this level as they move along in their careers. So it's good to get them out there. Vulcans up ahead. Just under 14 minutes to go in the second half. But the thing is just noticing is that Sonoma State just continues to they have one gear, and that is go. And they're going to be, if this maintains like this and becomes their match to win, then they would be definitely a formidable foe for Seattle Pacific. Up near midfield. And again, batted back the other direction. Sonoma State. Julia Horner-Bell. And that's near midfield. It is a 56-team tournament that is divided into 8 regions. The semifinals and championship game are scheduled for December 9th and 11th at Woodner Field in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Defending champion Grand Valley State had a 1-0 overtime win over Western Washington in the 2019 final, and they are seeded number 1 in the Midwest region. And Western Washington, up the road from us here, always competitive in every sport, it seems. They're in Bellingham, Washington, which is about an hour and a half from here. About 90 miles to the north as you start to get close to the Canadian border. And a free kick coming up. Setting up will be Casey Holiday. And a wall of defenders for the Vulcans. That one's through. And in. How about that? Another goal coming through is Casey Holiday off the free kick. She just placed that ball perfectly and gets the job done. It is 5-0. Oh my. That was just perfectly done. And it really just makes it rough for Hilo because now that is a deflator right there. They'd set up, it looked like they had a good wall of defense, but she just bent that one around them and put it up high. That was just a perfect shot. And the sub in for Hilo. 23 shots fired by the Seawolves and 3 for the Vulcans. Looking at some more stats here. Just overall, now they actually have 24 shots. 8 shots on goal by Sonoma State. 5 of them have gone in. 2 for Hawaii Hilo. 9 corners for the Seawolves to 2 for the Vulcans. 1 yellow card. Molly Murphy in that first half. Foul 7-5. Vulcans with the most. Offsides 2 apiece. And free kick now the other direction. Oh, and a goal! There you go, off the follow-up. Make sure they're going to count that one, and they should. So it is 5-1. Coming through with the goal that time for the Vulcans was Juliet Hufford. Juliet Hufford coming through with the goal for Hilo. Well, that's good to see because they had a shot and then it came back out and then she got it the second time around. So a little respect earned on that one as they've fought hard out here to try to stay in this match, and gives them a little bit of hope right there. Back down in that end again. Just under 11 minutes left here in the half. Hufford with her first goal of the season. She is a junior from Edmonds, Washington, just up the road. Went to Edmonds Woodway High School. So she is a local product. Nice to see her getting a goal. Probably got family here watching, so the Edmonds Woodway Warrior comes through and gets it done. Sonoma State. They'll set up defensively. You see a little breath of confidence in the Vulcans down there. That's great to see. Well, they worked hard for it. Unfortunately, just coming a bit late, but at least they don't have a 0 on the scoreboard. And it won't be the 7th clean sheet for Phoebe Barnes, although she's certainly had a great season. .9:23 left to go in the second half. 5-1 Sonoma State. Winner plays Seattle Pacific on Saturday at 2 o'clock. Right here at Interbay Stadium. Well, this is going the other direction. Foul and a free kick now. No assist on that goal by Juliet Hufford. And she had the follow-up. Also no assist on that by Casey Holliday, the previous goal off the free kick. And that one sails out of bounds. 8:30 to go in the second half. 5-1 is our score. Still raining pretty steady out here in Seattle. Got a big berm across the way. Sometimes people will come out and sit out there and watch the events. Had to deal with that during the height of the pandemic when these teams were playing out here in the spring. That one's going to go out of bounds. So yeah, Grand Valley State ranked in the number 1 spot in the country. Then Seattle Pacific is 4th. You've also got Western Washington 13th, and the 25th team is Minnesota State. It's good to see Seattle Pacific back up there and getting into the postseason for the first time in, well, actually officially a couple of years, because the season was makeshift in the spring. At least they were able to get out there and play. That was so nice for the different teams to be able to get back out there and do what they do. Fancy footwork down there, down below. Renee Kettner up ahead and cleared out of there. Julia Betty. Quick throw in. See if they can strike again. And that one's going to go out of bounds. Phoebe Barnes will have the kick. She is from La Crescenta, California. Up ahead. All right. And that one goes out. That player coming in, Drew Swanson, who scored the goal a little while ago. She's definitely been active out there, and you saw that just a minute ago with the defense right there. Done a good job here in the second half. Casey Holliday chasing it down, and that one's going to go out of bounds. Coming up on 6 minutes to go in the second half. Vulcan still staying active, and they're going to slow things down here and stop it. They're still staying active down there, trying to make something happen. It was nice to see them get that goal at the 78-50 mark. So that was 45 seconds after the Casey Holliday goal, so they came down pretty quickly and got it done. You have to admire that about the Vulcans, because that went off a free kick that sailed over their wall of defenders and the goalkeeper. Could have been rough on them, but they came marching right back and got the goal, so credit to them. Free kick at midfield. Nice if the Vulcans could put a capper on this here and get at least one more goal. There's one over on the right side with the pass. That's Christy Jensen over towards the middle now, but the Seawolves are right there to break it up out towards midfield. Chasing it down is Ramirez. Or actually that was Brennan, Bailey Brennan. And up near midfield, it's going to be cleared away. Alyssa Padron. Jody Lilly now over towards the far side. Up towards the middle, been broken up. Stays with it, nice job. Tokunaga, and that one just goes wide. Well, you got to admire the effort, though. They're staying with it. That time on the shot, it was Christina Kenaloo. Another substitution change for Sonoma State. Popping into the match is Chara Rigatuso. And blasted around. Here is Sonoma State chasing it down. Under 4 minutes left to go here in the second half. Vulcans with the control of the ball up ahead. Good job. Coming forward that time was Alyssa Padron. Sonoma State with a 5-1 lead, and it's looking to be them to play Seattle Pacific on Saturday at 2 o'clock with a chance to advance on. SPU got the bye in the first round by being the number 1 seed in the tournament. They had a nice spring, too. That one sails out of bounds, and the Vulcans will have control of it. You like they just staying really active down there and still trying to make something happen, trying to get another goal. There we go, up ahead. Tokunaga. But up on that is Julia Horner-Bell. And it's going to go out of bounds. Last touched, it looks like, by the Seawolves. Is the Vulcans will have a throw-in coming up on 2 minutes to go. Time winding down here in the second half. And the 9-game winning streak getting closer to coming to an end for Hilo, but what a great season they had in making their first appearance, and now they will have one under their belt, which is good for moving forward and looking ahead to the future. They got a number of young players on this team, so that will bode well for them to bring forward into next season. Certainly hope Viviana Poli is okay. After getting hurt in that first half right near the end with 11 seconds to go in a collision. Under 1 minute to go now in half number 2. And that one's going to go across the end line, and Seawolves will have it as 40 seconds left here in the second half. This time is winding down. Everybody getting a good taste of Seattle weather here today this time of year, that's for sure. 20 seconds now as that one's tapped away, and it's just playing to wind this one out right now. 5-1 is the score, which I have a hunch it's going to remain that because I don't think Sonoma State's going to put on much of a charge here. And they are going to move on no matter what to play against Seattle Pacific. 2 o'clock, 3 seconds, 2-1, and that's it. Final score, Sonoma State 5, Hawaii Hilo 1. The Seawolves defeat the Vulcans 5-1. Scored 2 goals in the first half, 3 goals in the second half, and Hawaii Hilo getting one late in the second half. Give them credit for that. And there was an assist, as they list that now. That's Jody Lilly did get an assist on that goal by Juliet Hufford. And right before that, it was Casey Holliday scoring. But those were just towards the end. It was the early play by Sonoma State that really made a difference, as they had a strong first half, and their defense just didn't allow Hilo to get in there and score, make anything happen in that first half, or really string anything together. And that set the tone for the rest of the match. And they pick up those 3 more goals in the second half, and they're a happy bunch as they get set to now play Seattle Pacific, the number 1 seed, coming up on Saturday right here at Interbay Stadium in Seattle, Washington. And that will be broadcast on SBU Falcons and YouTube as well. And give a good credit to Hilo for the season they put together, as overall a record of 12 wins and 4 losses, and they won 9 of their last 10. So they waved to their fans who made the trip over from the 50th state, and we wish them well on their trip back, as Sonoma State now will get prepared for Saturday, and Seattle Pacific as well. So again, we want to thank everybody for tuning in and being a part of our webcast today. Mark Ockett saying winning is for today, but sportsmanship is for a lifetime. Take care, everybody, and have a great rest of your day.
Sonoma. Good luck on Saturday. crowd? From Hilo. Yeah. Brand new soccer field, can't use it. They're still building the concession stand and restaurant. He was ready to go. They were gonna play. I mean, I got everything ready to be. Yeah, the cut, they got everything scooped out on the fence, so can't do it. Okay, the circle's ready. I don't know. But they took off all the fencing around and everything, so